Welcome to Secrets of Stand-Up Comedy. I'm Richard Francis Williams. I'm going to tell you everything I know about stand-up so you can be a better comedian. I want to talk about the advancement of audiences when it comes to stand-up comedy. I'm sure you've heard of the rule of three. You can basically drop it now. There's no need to do the rule of three where you give one straight example, another straight example, and then the punchline. It's like the farmer's daughter joke. You find out he's got three beautiful daughters. The first daughter is the setup. The second daughter, that's another setup. And then the third one's the punchline. People know. They know the format. You can get rid of that second daughter. You know when somebody tells you a joke like that, you're like, yeah, the blonde doesn't like going golfing. And then, oh, the brunette doesn't like going golfing either. It's like, just get to the point. With comedy, you want to use the element of surprise. Every joke being like a magic trick. That's why there were so many comedians back in the early days that were also magicians early on. Johnny Carson started off as a magician. Did you know that? Did you know that? As I've said numerous times here, audiences back in the day, they may have never gone to a stand-up show. And then they go out one time. It's still like that to some degree, but think about how much exposure they have to comedy. Not just seeing live shows, because there's clubs in every major city, sometimes multiple clubs, but there's also all the network and cable channels, and now all the streaming services that show stand-up, and all of social media. And not only just pure stand-up, but every meme that comes across. Memes are basically jokes. If you break them down, a lot of times they're comics jokes that, excuse me. I'm trying to get comfortable here. I'm in my new studio. Sometimes memes are jokes that comics did that somebody reworks into a picture with a caption on it. So audiences are very sophisticated. They know what to expect. That's why if you're doing some of the standard things that have been done forever, like the rule of threes, they're going to be bored. Keep them guessing. You get them going down that road of threes, and then boom, you just hit them with a punchline. I tell you all the time, you don't have to follow these old formulas. It's a whole new world out there. Because there's so much comedy, how do you stand out? That's why I think there's going to be a big push in the future for absurdist comics, like an Emo Phillips, or how Louis C.K. used to be. Louis C.K. is often credited with being very personal and kind of ushering in the underbelly of a comic's mind, the self-hatred, and saying that his kids are assholes. It was huge. It was a big shift when he did that. I think it may go the other way to some degree, because so many comics are doing that type of stuff now. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying there's room for everybody. And if you want to stand out, be true to what you think is funny. If you think you should do the rule of threes, do that, of course. But try to find something that makes it more interesting. Maybe the first example is the setup, and then the second example is the punchline, and then the third example is something completely outrageous that has nothing to do with anything. It's just a funny thought. The first daughter is a blonde, the second one is a brunette, and the third one is a fire engine. I don't know. I'm just thinking this up. I'm tired because I've been moving everything around. So I'm in my home office. I put a bed in here because during the winter I didn't want to go up and down the stairs with the dogs, and I wanted to trap some of the heat down below because there's so many floors in this house. And I painted, before I was using like a black cloth for the background, and then I would tint it in the settings of iMovie. Yeah, I'm really advanced using iMovie. So I did that today, and I got denied for the home equity loan. I went down there in person because I called, and they said, "Oh, he's on the phone with somebody. I'll have him call you back." 2 hours go by, so I just drove down there. When I showed up, he looked like he saw a ghost, and I said, "Why didn't you wait to submit it?" Well, I told you they're going to reevaluate it, so this way you'll have all the paperwork in place for when they reevaluate it. Willie, stop. And I said, well, wouldn't it make more sense to submit it when it's all ready, so it's not done piecemeal? Like, what? I don't want a second opinion on it. I want to go in with my best foot forward, like I would into a comedy club. See how I bring it all back? It's amazing, isn't it? It leaves me in a situation where my van is still working to drive locally around here. I can feel I think it's slipping a little bit, the transmission, but I don't know if that's the fuel injector. It could be a number of things. I'm really worried that I'm going to drive somewhere to an open mic and it's going to give out on me and I'm going to be stuck. And because of this stuff on my credit, and believe me, I'm going to stop talking about this soon because I don't want this to be me. I don't want it to sound like I'm complaining about it because I'm not. I'm just giving you an update on where I'm at. But I don't want that last drive to be 45 minutes away to go do an open mic where I go up 30th and be like, I could have gotten 2 more trips to the grocery store out of it. So right now I feel stuck. It may take 3 months to get my credit report back if they're even willing to take off those faulty negative late payments for my mortgage. So I'm in make money mode. I have to sell a bunch of stuff on eBay, and that's what I'm working towards. That's why I moved back into my old office so that I could have kind of a clear headspace, a clear desk. And then I was doing all of the videos in my kitchen, or not my kitchen, my dining room. I'll show you that maybe, the setup I had in there, but I'm just going to use that as a place to take photos of items, particularly slides and negatives that I have, and just bang this stuff out during the day. I painted this whole back wall. I don't know if I said that already. If I do this, you might be able to see it more because the light changes depending on where I'm at. So yeah, it's put my plans on hold for a little while. It's totally altered my plans on what I'm going to buy for a vehicle. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do. If I have to save up to buy something, obviously that puts me in a different price range. Because that's a real bad thing on my credit report, that I would have 4 90-day delinquent mortgage payments. Again, it's not true. It's a mistake that the bank made, but I don't know how they're going to repair it. I'll probably contact one of those credit repair places. That's more money. And I'll figure it out. It delays the plans for this channel a bit. So looking at all that, what can I do in the meantime? Well, I can start social media for Richard Francis Williams, the comedian. I have to do that anyways. I can start, buckling down on writing material every day because I haven't done that. I've been working on all this other stuff. I can do that. I can start putting out TikToks of jokes, just straight jokes. here like I'm doing it this way. I can play with Willie more. Come here, Willie. Come here, bud. Come on up. You're going to deal with setbacks in life. As I've said before, I could complain about the bank. I could complain about the van. I could complain about everything, but none of it's going to change anything. So I have to overcome, adapt, figure it out, and work on what I can work on. So it's not a setback, it's just a detour. One that I have to walk because I don't trust my van. You have to go lay down. 5 more minutes, bud. He's scampering. This little guy's scampering. So don't let things get you down. If an open mic closes, start up a new one. How about start up a writer's group with other comics? I mean, my problems right now are pretty small compared to what things were like during the lockdowns of the pandemic. There were comics who were relying on the road to pay their bills. I don't know how they got through it. I know a lot of them were doing Zoom shows, but I can't imagine that took in a lot of money. And I'm not talking about the big name comics like the Mark Normans or, I don't know, Gillis or Segura. I don't know who the big comics are anymore. The same names come to mind because they're always on these podcasts. But just the average working comic who was out doing the funny bones and the road warriors, the people who have been doing it for years and years and years. Who helped them? Who bailed them out? A lot of them, because they don't make that much money. I'm sure they weren't filing taxes every year, so they probably didn't get any of the aid packages, the PPP loans. And comics live by the skin of their teeth. I have it pretty good. I have a house. I have food. I kind of have my health. Oh, the rule of threes. I wasn't trying to do that just now. But it brings me back to being grateful. There's a lot of stuff I could do right now. Going to an open mic is probably, while it would be great for the channel and it would be great for my mood and getting me back out there and in the swing of things, maybe what I need is this time to get other parts of my life in order and get my social media up and running. That could be the reason why I frame this to be happening. I don't believe in the universe is sending me a sign or that things happen for a reason. The way I personally believe is things happen and then you give it meaning. Things happen and then I inject what the reason is. So I'm choosing to make this, okay, I need to focus on this other stuff now. And there's plenty of time for me to do open mics. And I have to do all this stuff anyways. So if I get a bunch of this stuff done in the meantime, getting a TikTok account running, getting things pumped out there, pumping out material, continuing to make these videos, making money on eBay, sorting through the credit stuff, doing Instagram, a YouTube channel for just my stand-up and my sketches and those types of things, I'll have a great advantage. I just put 5 minutes of material together in a few days for that open mic. And it's pretty crazy. It's not killer. It's not a killer 5 minutes. I wouldn't try that to be on the Tonight Show, but it's 5 minutes. I came up with it pretty quickly. Let's see if I could do it again. Imagine if I took this time right now to develop 5 different 5-minute sets. Each week, I I approach it as if, okay, this is a new open mic. I'm going to write 5 minutes for that. Then get it, put it aside. Then when I'm ready to go to open mics, every time I do an open mic, I can try a different 5 minutes. The way I used to think is, oh, I'm not getting this money for my home equity, even though I have the money in the house and I should be able to tap it. And I can't trust my van. I'm just going to go lay down. I can't deal with this. I'm going to call up my buddy and bitch and moan to him. I'm going to talk to an old girlfriend and see how her life's doing, because that'll make me feel better. I'm thankful that even at 53 years old, I can grow. I can learn. And that's what's so helpful about these videos, because as I'm telling you, I'm thinking it first, and then I'm hearing it. And I'm conditioning myself that, yes, this is in fact what I'm going to do. Because I haven't really thought about it until right now, when I was making this video. My only thought was, okay, I'll give them an update on what's going on with me. That's kind of boring. I'll also tell them about how the rule of threes is basically dead. And then all this other stuff just came out. I've been mulling around some of it in my head, but as I am sorting through it here real time with you, it starts to solidify. And then I speak it into existence. It's the power of your word. Again, I don't think that it's mystical. It's just the way my mind works. And if I mean, whatever you think about is what's important to you. So if I'm thinking about how bad it is, that's what's going to be important, the focus on how bad it is. If I'm thinking about what can I do to make this great, that's what my focus is going to be. It's like when I went through a really bad breakup in 2015, I extended the pain of that by going onto her Instagram probably 100 times a day to see if I can get any updates into her life. You know, prior to social media, you wouldn't do that as a normal person. Like if your ex worked at a coffee shop, you wouldn't drive by there 100 times a day to catch a glimpse of her. Would you? No, she'd be on her side of town. You'd be on your side of town. Maybe you'd hear about her through friends, but that would be it. It'd be easy to get over that person. But because my focus was trying to get information, is she dating somebody else? Is she happy? Is she sending out little smoke signals to say that she misses me? Every day I was caught up in that for a long time. I don't even want to admit how long I was doing that. It's embarrassing. Because I was thinking about it, I was giving it meaning. And I was reliving that pain every single time I did it. So if I draw my focus to what I can get done, if I draw my focus to what I can get done now, it's way more beneficial. I start forgetting about the bank. Like, yeah, that guy. All right. Maybe when I get it all set up, I'll go to a different bank for the mortgage. Why deal with that guy again? Why not reward someone else? And maybe he's doing the right thing. I don't know. But maybe I want to spite him. We'll see. So get your mind right. It's the most important thing. I always say it. You have to visualize yourself being successful. Visualize yourself achieving your goals. And you'll see it start happening. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.